This is one of my favorite Balisongs in my entire collection.
I would find metal anywhere I could possibly scrounge it up. I'd be like, look, Mom, look at my knife. And she's like, that's a shiv.
This is genuinely the coolest thing I've ever seen.
You like seriously, like actually, like no joke, this is actually like a game-changing level.
It's literally, it is a game-changing level thing. It's crazy. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another video. Today we are at Blade Show 2024, and we're gonna be checking out a very special and kind of slept on company. We're checking out EPS Knives and their first time having an actual booth here at Blade Show 2024. So this is gonna be an awesome video. Let's go see what's happening. All right, everybody, this is Rick with EPS. Nice to see you, man.
Nice to see you.
Wonderful. I have my EPS Wraith with me today. I'm very happy. I managed to snag the G10 orange version, which just is beautiful. This is one of my favorite Balisongs in my entire collection.
I appreciate it, man.
I genuinely, when I first got it, I was like, this thing's fantastic. You kind of nailed the magic. And I think that's a beautiful thing, being able to find success in simplicity, the way that you've done here. So, what are you guys doing here at Blade Show in general? I think we can get into the products for a second, but this is your first year having a booth.
This is our first year. We only found out that we were gonna get a booth about 2 months ago.
Oh, wow.
So, it has been a scramble, and our booth might be a little lackluster compared to some others, but we tried and we're here and we're having a great time.
How did you actually get here? Not like how did you drive, but how has your journey been so far? Coming from, you had the 101, I remember that.
Yep.
You got to the G10 Wraith. What's that been like as a company and for you personally as a journey?
As a company, it has been great success. And for me personally, it has been quite a long ride. It's been probably about 8 to 10 years now that I've been working on getting to Blade Show and being able to have a booth and products and see everybody and show off. It's a roller coaster ride where, you know, you get one day where it's just, oh, this is the best thing ever. It's all I want to do. And there's other days where it's like, I quit, I'm done. I probably quit every 2 weeks. My beautiful fiance who's here with me, and she's like, no, you're not. You're not quitting. And I'm still here, so I guess I can't say.
I'm very glad you're still here.
I'm trying. But it is not the road that I thought it was going to be when I first started. But it's a road that I'm so glad we've gone down. It has continuously improved the products that I can make, the products that I can offer to people, and I wouldn't change the route that I followed so far.
I'm very glad to hear that. You know, it's always interesting getting to talk to all the individual makers and see what their journey is like, because for everybody, it's so unique.
It is. It really is.
It's one of the reasons that I think the Balisong community itself is so cool, is because everybody has their own story and everybody has their own like way they got into it or something that really made it click for them or whatever. What made you want to make Balisongs?
I was probably about 13 years old, so I've been in this community 15 years. So I've been here a very long time. The small child in me at that time was like, I want to make a knife. And my parents were awesome, and they facilitated getting me the cheapest grinder that they could possibly get me.
That's cool.
And I started at like 13 years old trying to grind blades.
No
just
way.
Out of really where it started first, I would find metal anywhere I could possibly scrounge it up, and I would be sitting there making like trying to make a knife. And I'd be like, look, Mom, look at my knife. And she's like, that's a shiv. And I'm like, no, look, it's my knife.
It's a
I
knife.
made it, I swear. That grew into just like being a flipper, trying to make stuff. I went to school for engineering. Once I got to school, I had my first CAD class, and I was like, oh, I can make a knife. That was where I messed up, because I thought as soon as I had a CAD model that was janky as could be, I could go make a knife.
Yeah.
That's where the road truly started for me.
But how did you get into butterfly knives in the first place?
So, the movie The Outsiders.
Oh.
2-bit character has a butterfly knife, and he flipped it open, and I saw it, so I went, what is that? And I need it.
Yeah. That's so funny.
And from there on, I was obsessed. And my mom, of course.
Oh yeah, that's terrifying for your child to be into knives.
You can't have that. You cannot have that.
Especially a butterfly knife.
Exactly. And I'm like, no, Mom, I need it. I need this thing.
So what do you have for me today to look at?
So this is the very first Atlas that was ever made.
Wow.
This is the knife that taught me everything. This is the knife that made me cry multiple times. This is the knife that kept me awake with a pit in my stomach going, I don't know what to do.
Wow.
I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. But it was a huge learning experience, and it taught me almost everything I know
Really?
on what not to do. When I first designed this knife, it was like 2015, 2014 standards, which was like 4X, super handle heavy, super blade light.
Yep.
And by the time I actually was able to bring this out,
All
it
those
took
had
so
changed.
long. It had changed so much. Everybody's like, ew, this is what you brought out. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess I get it. They were numbered. They were all hand ground.
Wow.
All hand radius. I called them a mid-tech.
Yeah.
Honestly, they should have just been a custom because they were all hand done.
Honestly, when I'm looking at this reminds me a lot of Stitch's work.
Yeah.
Especially these holes right here.
Yep.
Is that done with a drill press?
Yeah, every hole in here, every countersinking, I did by hand on a drill press.
And
yeah,
then the bevel on here as well.
So that is directly Ryan influence.
That's so cool.
I will say that he rounded and did the little chamfers on the end here on the very first Atlas for me. And even to this day, it still follows on all my knives.
Look at that. That's so cool.
I have to give credit where credit is due. I absolutely loved the radius that he did.
Yeah.
And it was a pain in the butt to model it and make it so we could CNC it, because it actually tapers on all our new stuff.
That's one of the things that I really like about not only the Balisong community,
Yeah.
but actually your brand. Your brand shows a sort of collaborative effort.
Oh, yeah.
That not a lot do. The Balisong community in and of itself is a very young one. And so a lot of the knowledge that we've produced over time kind of has to be shared very personally.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's really cool that you sort of embody that in your brand. So we'll get back into that topic a little bit later, but this thing is awesome. So what do we have after this?
Because we're showing this one off, I will show this. A lot of people ask me, when will we see another Atlas? I do have concepts for a production Atlas design.
No way.
I do not have any date or what I want to do with it. I'm not happy with it at this time.
Yeah.
So I want to keep continuing and working on it. If I'm not happy with it, I don't want to put it out.
That makes sense.
Because you're not going to be happy with it,
No.
in my opinion. You
Oh,
might like
absolutely.
it, but if I'm not happy with it, I won't put it out. So it does have a lot of changes from the original mid-tex.
Okay.
Much thicker of a blade.
Yeah, I
Little
like
bit
the
of a
blade profile a little bit more.
I don't know exactly what we'll do with it. I don't know if this will end up with sandwich, channel, or janwich. I'm
Cool.
kind of leaning on the third one, but
Ooh,
I
that would
don't
be cool.
know.
Do you mind if I
So,
see it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wow. Oh, wow, that's very different.
Very different.
Is this approximately what you're going for flipping wise, or is it still too early for that?
I would say yes, but it is still too early
Yeah.
because I want to get into a couple more prototypes. I do have a channel handle prototype of it as well. Actually, Dalen, machine-wise, right
Yes.
over here on the other side of the wall, he actually machined the handles for me.
Oh, very cool.
We'll see where that goes.
That's very exciting. Well, and I think this is a great callback to that original knife. You know,
Yeah.
I think getting to sort of revitalize a design like that,
Exactly.
it feels really nice as a
It
maker.
is really fun. Yeah, I would agree with that.
This is sort of the long off future.
That is some
I
of
guess-
the walk off.
Let's go a little bit more into the now.
Okay.
And something that I did want to bring up too. So we've got the Wraiths coming up here. I just want to bring up your design language in general, especially when it comes to your handle patterns and all that stuff. It's very classical Balisong to me, and I really like that. I think you've done a fantastic job of sort of taking elements that had existed in the Balisong community for a really long time, you know, different designs from different places, and making it your own and making something that is genuinely unique yet feels like it's existed for a long time. I love
understand
that.
what you mean. All right, Wraiths.
Wraiths.
So we have the G10 Wraith and the Titanium Wraith.
What is the development process of the G10 Wraith specifically? Was this your first time working with G10?
So the G10 Wraith, it was my first time working with G10. I didn't know a lot about it other than it went on knives and it was cool because you could do different colors and I like colors on my
Colors
knife.
are fun.
So my actual goal with this knife was I wanted to make a better 51. That's not how it played out. I didn't know how, I don't know how or when, but somewhere along the way, you know, it just kind of turned into this beautiful, awesome flipping knife, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. I think that's a good opinion. That's honestly one of the things that I really love about this one. And as I said, I feel like your stuff has a lot of callbacks to classics in the Balisong community. And I think that's one of the reasons that you've become, obviously EPS feels like a slept on brand, but at the same time, everyone that I've talked to about you, everyone loves your stuff. Every opinion that I've seen has been like, EPS makes fantastic balisongs. And I think that has to do partially with the fact that your design is incredible, partially with the fact that you're incredible, but also I think these classical ideas that show a love for like balisong in general, coming back, reflourishing and recreating into something that is a brand new idea is so cool. And I think that is really powerful and strong to people. With the G10 Wraith in particular, it makes me feel exactly that way. Like this is what the 51 could have been.
Yeah.
Something I did want to point out now that we're here is this really cool latching mechanism, which do you have any that have a latch on it?
Do you have your Wraith?
This latching mechanism is incredibly unique.
The way the spacer is cut, if you can see that in there, it actually acts as a detent for the latch so that when you're flipping, you do have a type of spring latch without all the extra weight of a spring latch from like say a 4X.
Is the latch actually cut out of titanium?
Yes, the latch, the spacer, everything is titanium. And I have to give mad props to Emmanuel LeBrun from ELB Knives. He graciously said, I can use this in production. We had to, specify it is an ELB style latch. And I will give him kudos for that all day long because I absolutely love how this latch came out, how it works.
And it doesn't mess up the balance at all. It's super light. You can see how much material has been removed from it. This is my favorite kind of latch on a balisong. If I was going to leave a latch on a balisong, this is the kind that I do with it.
I agree with you.
It's very rare that I feel that way about a balisong. But yeah, this being inspired directly from the ELB line of products where it uses that locking mechanism. What I think is really fun too is it kind of is similar to the way the 51 latch worked too, in the sense that the 51's spring for the spring latch, when you squeezed it, the spring was actually part of the titanium liner itself. This is using the spacer, not the liner, and it is ELB. At the same time, I just think that there's a spiritual connection there that I really like.
No, and I agree. And that's why I did try to do a spring latch on it, is because the 51 had a spring latch. I wanted some sort of, not the exact same, but some sort of spring latch.
Something like that, but better. Again, and I think you got exactly what you were looking for there. Once again, as I said earlier, stuff like the rounding being inspired by stitched steel and the latch being inspired by ELB. That ethos being a part of your company, being somebody who is looking at what exists in the balisong community and talking to people about it and sharing that knowledge, it really adds to the value of your brand for me. And I think that's a really awesome thing. So thank you very much for these.
Yes.
And what do we have now?
The TIE Wraith.
The TIE Wraith.
This has been a long-awaited product from us. I demoed it, I think in 2021.
Yep.
The first proof. It was another one that I was like, hey, production shop, what do you think we can do about a prototype before Blade Show? Blade Show's June 4th.
Yep.
It is May 1st. What do you think? And that's a ridiculous request for anybody that doesn't know.
Yeah.
But I had one guy that said, I like titanium and I like challenges. Let's do it.
I like titanium and I like challenges.
Exactly.
That's a good guy. I like that guy.
Exactly. And so he took on the job. We created the first ever TIE Wraith. We brought it to the show. Everybody loved it. Went back home. I started measuring the stuff, and like the machining on it just was all wrong.
Oh yeah, of course.
But it was awesome.
I mean, as long as it existed at all at that point, that's all that mattered. I remember flipping it at Blade 21. I liked that thing a lot.
Everybody loved it. I then had to change my CAD to match how the prototype felt so that we could create the balance over again and make it in production. This year, when we found out that we were going to have a booth, I had the choice to make of, do we make G10 Wraiths or should we finally do TIE Wraiths? And TIE Wraiths won. We cut 3 or 4 more prototypes, all with different balance points.
Really?
To figure out where it was. We finally landed on this, ran everything right before the show. It was a scramble. Everything was finished last weekend.
Wow.
Last weekend. They were everything delivered to me on Saturday. And I spent all weekend and all up until Tuesday assembling all of these myself, tuning all the bushings.
Cow. How many of these did you bring to the show?
25.
25.
That's it. We only had enough time to do 25.
I mean, that makes sense. That's a crazy crunch. And it's just you.
Yeah, it is just me that does all the tuning and everything. It is a pain in the butt sometimes. But every knife that comes that you might buy, I've had a hand in. I make sure it flips nice.
I love that. Do you mind if I flip it?
Go ahead. Feel free.
Oh my God, the tolerances are insane.
I will
There's
grab
nothing
over here.
And this is the demo unit too.
And if you want to check it out, this is the original prototype.
Oh my God, is that the one I flipped back in 21?
This is the original one you flipped in 21.
Wow.
But just check out the change in the handle thickness.
Oh.
Check out the radiusing.
Yeah, I see that.
So there's a big difference, and as sad as I was to take so
Oh, yeah, I
long on this
remember this
project, I am glad it took so long because
Yep.
I think this is an overall night and day better product.
It genuinely is. One of the things that I immediately notice here is the squareness of the handles. They are distinctly square, which is like not horrible. There are a lot of square balisongs out there, but this is comfy.
Yeah.
That's the reason that I keep going back to my G10 Wraith, is because of how freaking comfy it is to flip.
agree with
It
you.
feels fantastic, and I love flipping it every time. When I talked about the G10 Wraith, when I was talking about the Serpent Striker, I noticed I love my G10 Wraith, but I had to kind of make some adjustments to it with sandpaper because it was a little rough around the edges in a literal sense.
It's not an excuse, but that's part of the learning process.
Well, and I love that. You took that feedback to heart.
Oh yeah, I did, and that's why on every single one of my knives now, they are covered in chamfers. It's going to be comfortable.
Woo!
I hope it's going to be comfortable, and if it's not, then I'm not going to be selling it.
I mean, I can tell you immediately, it's so comfortable, especially so one of the things I complained about with the original G10 Wraith was doing a palm fan was uncomfortable because this would dig into you, and now it feels fantastic to palm fan. So.
Heck, I even add more radiusing into the machining here so that to try and tame those hot spots.
Oh, I love that, dude. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I like about smaller brands like this, where it's literally just one guy, and you can make those changes. You can listen to the community feedback and be like, what do I need to do to make my products as good as they possibly can be? And then you do it, and you really succeed. Okay, so this is the current.
This is the current. I guess we need to take a step back. The 101.
So this comes after the Wraith?
This comes after the G10 Wraith.
The G10 Wraith. So this is between G10 Wraith and Titanium Wraith.
Yeah.
Right.
This has been not a nightmare of a knife for me, but another one of those very big learning experiences.
Yeah.
I wanted to make something that anybody could really buy, and we would get a very good quality knife. And that's where the 101 was born. Hence the name 101, your entry level. I thought it was hilarious.
I love that.
Even the boxes.
Oh, the boxes are so cool. Wait till you see this.
I wanted to go for a chalkboard look.
I love that.
I wanted the chalk zone. Do you remember chalk zone?
Yeah, of course.
So I was going for that for the writing and everything. So it looked like it was scribbled on a chalkboard. You got hashtag JDBA, a callback to Jersey Devil.
Wow. This box is fantastic. And packaging is a lot of work.
It is. Oh, it is a pain. Yeah, it's a pain all in itself.
But you nailed it with this thing. Okay, so this is the kind of slightly updated one. I can see it has jimping
it's got
now.
jimping, and that's the original without jimping.
Yep, and I really liked the original. I was very impressed with this thing from the beginning because you managed to sort of nail that feeling of a high quality aluminum-based trainer.
Yeah.
Or well, live blade actually.
Yeah, it comes in both.
What were the changes made from here to here, and where are you thinking of going in the future?
So the V1 to V2, we had jimping. Everybody wanted jimping. Let's say 50% liked the feeling of the finish on the V1s.
Right.
50% did not. So on the V2s, we went to a rougher bead blast finish to give it more of that grip.
Yeah.
Some people did not like that, and some people liked that.
It's so hard to please everybody.
That is the one thing that is very hard for me. I don't like to hear the disappointment from people. If there's a little part of me that just dies inside. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go change that so this guy likes it. I can't do that for everybody. But if there's a comment that is made overwhelmingly, I take it to heart and I listen to it and I'm gonna apply that to my design. So V3.
The V3.
I'm considering doing. I don't know if I'm gonna actually do it. One of the complaints was they're a bit light, they're a bit handle light. I think we're gonna make them the same thickness as like our Wraith lineup.
Oh.
Right now, these are about right at like a 1/2 inch thick. These are slightly over that. I think it'll give it enough rear weight that it might help out a little bit more. If everything goes right and I can do it right, we're gonna do full texture milling on the top.
Oh, that would be so cool.
If you guys want it, let me know. We might do it.
Leave a comment. I'm just saying.
Now we have the Thai 101. This has been a fun little project because showing it off to people here, one of the big comments was sometimes when people go from take aluminum design and go to Thai, it just does not work out.
Yeah.
The balance isn't there.
No, it's completely
Something's weird.
different.
One of the things I'm really happy about is how this balance came out on this knife. Please check it out.
Before I even start to flip it, something I want to bring up is like you've obviously done a lot of work to convert the design from aluminum into titanium. So you can see these massive cutouts in the titanium and then also this happening over here because titanium is just a completely different density than aluminum. People think of aluminum and titanium as like, oh, they're both light metals, but they are completely different ball games.
Oh yeah. real quick, I want to point out the biggest complaint is why did I put countersinking on the speed channel?
Interesting.
To answer the question, why do I have countersinkings on this jimping?
I was about to say, it's the same. It's a callback. That's so cool.
I'm big on callbacks where I can.
Well, and that's what I like, because that keeps your design language more consistent.
Exactly. That is why I have countersinkings here. Please stop asking me why, and I'm not taking them off.
I think it's cool. Let me flip it to make sure that it's cool in terms of like how it feels to my hands, I guess. But like, I think it looks awesome.
I do like it because even on like ladders or scissors and stuff, like it gives an extra grip, almost like jimping up top.
Dude, I really like this thing. So you've got a Weehawk design here, you got a buoy on the Wraith.
Yes.
The classical elements. Your Balisongs feel like Balisongs should in a way. I don't know, they just, looks-wise, aesthetics-wise, they have that classical feel that I've been looking for. And while I love companies like Machine-Wise and Squid Industries who are creating awesome and really interesting products, there's something about their stuff that, while it's new and awesome, and I do love it, this is brand new and yet has a feeling. There is a classical element to it that just calls to me, and I love that.
It's probably because I've been in the community so long. I started on a spider fly and a 4X, and the 4X was my favorite for so long. My whole goal when I was switching this to titanium is I wanted to make a better 42T latch.
I was about to say, this feels like a 42 if the 42 was like actually really good.
On bushings.
If it was on bushings.
I wanted to do a modern 42. No, they're not going to do it. Benchmade won't go do it.
They're not going to do it.
So I guess I had to do it.
Genuinely, I have heard you described by multiple members of the community as the better Benchmade. And I completely agree.
Appreciate it, Will.
Freaking sick, dude. Thank you.
This is brand new. I have been teasing it on our Instagram. A lot of people had guesses of what it would be. So this is our newest experimental division knife. That's what I'm calling it.
Wow.
Race.
Wow.
I designed this back in 21, 22-ish. I designed the handle pattern. This was supposed to be a sister series to Wraith. I took some design aspects from the Wraith. I wanted such as like the cutouts up here, or the four cutouts.
Yeah.
I wanted the inside pattern here. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I was thinking about it this year. I was kind of going through what I want my old designs and what I could do. And I kind of threw a Chanwich design together with it. And then I finally ended up on this.
This is genuinely the coolest thing I've ever seen. This is modern art in a Balisong. Okay, so what's happening is you have this G10 that wraps around. So I have a Volt Pro on me that had that little G10 piece, but this is fake. This is not one piece of G10. There's an insert that allows it to wrap around.
No way.
That's not what this is. This is one solid piece of G10 that wraps around from one side, solid, same piece, to the other side. And then you can see the titanium there and the titanium on the bottom. On the inside, it's sandwich. And you can see the G10 on the other side. But then as you look closer, you notice that that titanium piece is continuous. The top liner and the bottom liner are one piece of titanium that has been milled out. And then what, does this like slot over it?
Yep.
That is so cool.
Slides
I have
on.
Genuinely never seen that done before.
When it came to me, I had to do a lot of research to see if it had been done.
Yeah.
Because I did not know if it had been. These prototypes were made just before Blade Show. So there are definitely a lot of design flaws that I'm gonna work out. I was really impressed with myself for one time ever. I wasn't sure how the balance was gonna be on these. I really did not know.
It's banging.
I cut the prototypes and I got them in. I was like, oh, I don't think I need to mess with the balance on this. I'm actually really liking how these came out.
At this point, this is kind of historical with my reactions to your Balisongs, but this thing fucks. This is one of the coolest things I've genuinely ever seen. The moment this drops, I will buy one. I need one of these in my life.
Well, the fun part about them too, we're gonna do them all the colors we already offer. So, white, black, orange, ruby, jade.
Oh, I had no idea that you were working on anything like this.
Yeah, actually, I haven't even posted about it on our Instagram yet. So this is the first take of anything for it.
Wow. Okay, so I would like Brandon to try this thing, but real quick, I want you guys to listen to the sound it makes because it's insane. This thing sounds so good.
And that's with an absolutely trash tune.
That's with a trash tune?
Yeah, I'd call
Oh
that
my
a trash tune.
God, dude. All right, Brandon, you get over here and you try this.
It's me, maybe Brandon, maybe a clone, but you'll never know. In the interest of full disclosure, I tried this for like 10 seconds before we started filming, but I was like, oh. Let me give it a proper. The clack. I love a good clack. You like seriously, like actually, like no joke. Like, you know, these videos are kind of like, in a way, like an advertisement for the company that we're like doing it for. Like, this is actually like a game-changing level.
It's literally, it is a game-changing level thing. It's crazy.
It flows well too, and the weight distribution is solid, and it feels like an EPS thing. Everything I've seen that you guys have made, like it still feels like an EPS product, but in a whole new way. Like we said at the beginning, EPS is kind of being slept on. This officially has me interested in picking up one of your products for sure. So yeah, this is let me chaplain it. Well, chaplain's good too.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
That's good.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, Brandon Clone.
Thank you, Brandon Clone. Thank you so much, Rick. This has been such a fantastic journey, not only through your company, but through your offerings.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate it.
what a place to end.
Appreciate
Really
it.
appreciate it. And I hope you guys keep doing incredible things like this.
Appreciate it, Will. We'll try.
All right, everybody, so that was EPS, and they showed us all sorts of incredible products. And as you can see here at Blade Show, things are really starting to heat up. We have so many more people around us now, and it's honestly fantastic. So I am so excited to go keep talking to people, finding new Balisongs. If you want to see the rest of the videos that we have here at Blade Show, there's a playlist, but also make sure you subscribe because we're going to be releasing these as quickly as we can. We're not going to do the thing we did last time where we literally released one video every day for a week, because that meant that I was editing for a week straight without sleeping, and I'm not doing that again. So the videos will come out not insanely fast. Make sure you're subscribed and you'll get to see more awesomeness from Blade Show 2024. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later.
Keep going. Yeah, keep
Oh
going.
no, f you,
keep
damn
going.
it!
Yeah.